Good evening and welcome to Have You Seen This, where my brother Mark and I force each other to watch movies.
Alright, so this is Have You Seen This? And Mark, you made me watch The Network. I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. First of all, you thought I had already seen one or the other scene, especially this one.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
But I had not. I seriously have never heard of this movie, and I believe I should have, because it's really interesting and it's quite reflecting of our own time. The way that it's critical of our society is very interesting and very much fitting to what we go through nowadays. I also mentioned some time ago that I like a good dialogue, and maybe that's why you gave me this one, because they have a really great dialogue. What I mean by that is, it's a dialogue that's natural and realistic and believable, like someone in the real world would actually say that. But at the same time, it's not obvious. You're still surprised by what they are saying, you know? So there's a dialogue and you don't know how the other one's going to respond, so that's what real life is like. And still, even though it's very surprising, it's still very logical and not something where you'd be like, why would anyone say that?
There's some real, actual life going on here.
I think a great example of a bad dialogue is something I saw in a trailer not too long ago of the newest movie from M. Night Shyamalan. And he has that problem a lot with his dialogue, I would say. As good as his first movies were, his dialogue is always very odd, as if he would not live in our world.
Hey, pardon me, sir. I think you have the wrong car.
So in this scene, the character that is played by James McAvoy goes, as a stranger, goes into a car where there's 3 teenage girls. So he's a complete stranger. They don't know him. And their response is that. Who would say that? Come on, they would freak out. They would throw him out. They would slap him or something. They wouldn't just go like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. And that's just something that would bother me a lot about a movie. So here in Network, I can say that it's really a very good dialogue. Would I recommend it to a friend? It's not exactly the movie you want to see in the evening with your friends, as most of your movies are, I have to say. But it is very socially critical and it's very interesting to see and maybe to reflect on. I wouldn't just take everything that they say, just take it with a grain of salt, but it's very interesting to see and to see how they viewed that new technology of TV and what it did to people. So thanks a lot for this movie and kudos to you. You really took a risk with it yet again, but this time it really paid off because it's really an interesting movie.
We got a goddamn hit, goddammit!
Now it's your turn again. I'm giving you Mr. Holmes. It's a story about Sherlock Holmes. It's a bit more as if Sherlock Holmes would have lived in our times, and Watson wrote stories about him and kind of fictionalized the whole thing, because the character is a bit over the top, like he's almost a superhero if you read the stories. In this one, he's very calculated, he's very smart, but he's not as superhero-ish as he is in the real novels. So it kind of puts it into our universe, which is interesting. But in this one, he's very old and he's trying to remember a case that he had. I don't want to tell you much more about the movie. I'm just going to show you this clip.
I searched for something to jog my memory of the actual case. And there it was. A picture. You know, a few years ago, I could have told you everything about the woman in that photograph. Certainly I'd recall what had become of her, whether she was victim or culprit. But that night, I couldn't remember any of it.
And that's all you get from me today. Have fun with the movie, and I will see you next week.